The thing with sacrifice, when you love something, when you love someone, sacrifice is very, very, very easy, because love just pushes you to sacrifice everything. It allows you to overcome all sorts of thoughts and belief systems you got. I was a kid, 13. Soldiers come out in Iran with machine guns, time of revolution, 1979. Do you know what happens when you have like thousands of people screaming for justice? And you scream for justice as well, you're a kid. Do you know much about your society? No. Your culture? No. Politics? No. Have you like Plato sat and read Republic, Karl Marx, Durkheim? No, none of those things. All you know is that people are shouting, I'm going to follow. You think people really understand? No. They're inspired. And once you inspire, sacrifice is immensely easy. There comes a point where you're no longer in the cradle of love. You are in a committed relationship. Like all people who are married or in a relationship. If you've been in a long-term relationship, you have like, you have respect, you have yes, honey, no, honey, okay, honey. It's not like the initial stages of the relationship. I'm going to sacrifice all of my savings account to buy her flowers, buy her a ring, take her here, take her there. Screw all of that. The politics of life have entered. Time has passed. You look at your wife or your companion and say, oh, well, there they are. And they say, I want to go out for dinner tonight. Well, I made plans with my friends. Conflict. Yeah, I know you made plans. Dinner tonight, you and I. Pizza. But we had pizza yesterday. I feel like pizza tonight. If you love this person and if they tell you let's eat shit together, you say, yeah, absolutely, I'll eat shit. But now you're not there. You reflect, you're no longer inspired, you're in a committed relationship, it's one of imprisonment, lots of do's and don'ts. Not bad, it's good. And then they say, dinner out. You take out your phone and you go to your text, and it's a group text, and you say, hello, I don't think I can make it tonight. Then you pause, you don't send it yet. You look at your companion and say, I'm not feeling too well. Maybe I should just go to bed. I don't care if you're dead. I'm carrying your corpse to Zachary's pizza shop. Then you realize that there is no way out of this mess. And so you send a text. Sacrifice is a very unpleasant experience. And you do it because you have to override certain belief systems, certain passions, certain emotions. When you read the story of Socrates and Plato, and let's just say Plato does not drink, does not smoke, and one of the ways that Socrates will realize whether or not Plato is fully devoted to him, he will say to Plato, you told me that your dad has all this cash stashed somewhere in like a bedroom. Can you go bring all of it to me? Well, you have to sacrifice respecting your parents, always having been a good kid, loving your parents, never wanting them to be in any harm's way, but you also love Socrates. Now there's a conflict. Should I do Socrates or should I do my parents? Now you begin to doubt. What the hell is Socrates? Socrates is supposed to be a person of wisdom. What the hell does he want to do with money? Why is he asking for money? I've given him my soul, I've given him my mind, now he wants money. He's like a David Koresh. He wants to exploit me. All of this just for money. Doubt, conflict, all the stuff begins. And there comes a point where you say, I've trusted him all this time. Let's just give this a shot. It's a shot in the dark. Let's see where it goes. And it's uncomfortable because you tiptoe into your parents' bedroom. You make sure no one hears you. And you're sweating. You have like the fear of God inside you. And very, very quietly, you open the vault and you take out all these millions of dollars and you put them in a bag. And you know that if your parents catch you, that's it for you. You're out in the street. And God forbid if you happen to be a Catholic, that Yahweh is right there looking all over you. And you have no idea what Socrates is going to do with your money. And then you leave the house, you give this bag of money to Socrates. And he looks at you and says, oh, thank you. Here's the bag back. Take it back home. And as you're walking to your house, your father sees you. What's in the bag? Dad, this thief broke into our house, opened the vault, took all this money. I beat him up. I'm bringing the money back. Now that is sacrifice. Sacrifice always has to do with something that you've promised yourself that you will never, ever, ever do. and you're caught between a rock and a hard place. You love two things, One, you don't understand. You don't understand Socrates. You don't understand his request, but you do understand your parents. One is unknown, the other is known. And you make the sacrifice for the unknown. It's a walk in the dark. And you say, okay, I'll see how things unfold. That's the way students sacrifice. But for any student to reach that particular stage, they need to have been working with a teacher for a long, long time. The only thing that the teacher sacrifices is, and that's a good teacher. Young teachers, they don't sacrifice anything. Young teachers are just stupid. Young teachers are very much like someone in love. They're delusional. They're like Jesus Christ. Yes, if someone slaps me on the right, I will offer the left. A seasoned teacher is like Moses. I ain't got time to be slapped around all the time, man. You slap me, I'm just gonna cut your head off. I have kids to feed, a society to protect. I don't have time for all this nonsense. A young teacher thinks that he or she can save the world. They're like Eckhart Tolle, going on the stage and telling everybody how they can be saved. They're like Jordan Peterson. A seasoned teacher who has been kind of brutalized by space and time chooses and picks his or her students very, very, very carefully. Gentle as doves, as cunning as the foxes. I mean, how could someone as nice as Jesus say such contradictory things? Be gentle. On the inside, be very, very gentle. Be like water, because that's how blessings come. And to receive water, you have to be empty. You have to be like a dove. And you have to soar to the heavens. But be cunning, because you have a physical body, and that physical body sees other people, and other people are stupid. They will deceive you, they will lie to you. Know where you are, know what you're around. A teacher sacrifices time, energy. And by the time you get to a teacher who's like in his or her late 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, they really have very little in the gas tank. And they ask all sorts of questions, and they do all sorts of things to see where exactly you are. I think most good teachers, for the most part, live in isolation. There was a guy, Franklin Merrill Wolfe. He was a mathematician. He wrote a couple of books. He was also like a closet mystic of sorts, philosopher. He lived in the woods and never gave his address to anyone. You had to go through the publisher. But you had to be interested in his ideas first to send a letter to the publisher. The publisher sent the letter to Franklin. Franklin had to read the letter, look at the person on paper, then make his decision and give it to the publisher. That's how good teachers are. Abraham is childless for a long, long time. It's like you wanting a degree, and you've always wanted to get a PhD. Always, 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 always. But you never had the time. And so you wait, and you wait, and you wait, and you wait. And then let's say you're running the president of Stanford, and you guys sit and you have a conversation, and he finds you profoundly interesting. And then he asks if he can give a speech at a certain ceremony. And after the speech, people come to him and say, give him a degree, just give him a doctorate. And now you have it. So Abraham is a guy who's waited for some passion of his to come true, like all of us in this class. And it's a good desire. It's a healthy desire. It's a desire that benefits you. But you have to wait. And that's one of the things you understand in the story of Abraham. All good things that you want, you need to exercise a good amount of patience. But just because you desire it doesn't mean that they're going to give it to you. You have to wait and wait and wait and wait. And as you wait and exercise patience, your skin grows thicker. The other thing about Abraham is he is single-minded. He is focused. He's like Lance Armstrong, despite the scandal. He's like anyone who wants to be good at anything and devotes him or herself to that one thing, and despite all the distractions, remains focused. Now, the thing you need to understand about being Abraham and being focused is that the idea of me wanting a degree, that is the most important thing in your life. It gives you meaning, identity, relevance, and value. You are the thing that you want. Abraham wants to be a father, like you wanting to be a doctor, like a woman who wants to be a mother. At a certain point, Abraham remembers who he is. He is a man of faith. He is religious. It's like you desire to go into the classroom and talk because that is who you are. And you've never missed a class. And your son gets sick. Now you have worked on the PhD, on getting a job, on being in the classroom for all of your life, and now it's there. And the sickness that your son is suffering from now asks you, without him telling you, are you a professor or are you a father? Because if you're a father, you gotta change my diaper. You gotta go into the kitchen and be a cook. You gotta clean the house. You gotta shower me, clean me. A professor, you live in your head. So Abraham is you're patient. Eventually what you want is given to you. Oh man, when you have what you've desired for the past 20, 30, 40 years, you are going to love it. That is going to be the sun and you're going to be the earth revolving around it 24/7. At a certain point, your wife looks at you and says, you got lost in the PhD. Remember, you went into philosophy because of two very, very simple things, love and wisdom. You know, wisdom is not information and you are full of it. And when I hear you talk, you spit out information, but I smell no passion. Why don't you go out there, find a Socrates? Maybe Socrates can bring passion and love back into your life because you suck as an instructor. Now, the conflict begins when you have to ask if you want to stay home and be a cook or you want to go to classroom and be a professor. Now, the thing is this, you're never going to be asked to sacrifice anything you don't care for. You're always going to sacrifice something that is valuable to you. And that's the thing. Teachers never ask for things for which you don't care. And so when you talk about sacrifice, you're talking about overriding a belief system to which you've been addicted for about 20, 30, 40, 50 years. And that's tough. I have wanted a son for the past 90 years. I have a son now, and I love my son. And this son has come to me from God. And that's the way, those people used to think. Good and bad comes from God. Not Trump, not capitalism, God. Now, God who has given me what I have desired for the past 20, 30, 40, 50, 90 years, now he comes in and says, give me your son. What the hell is this? Where's the compassion of God? Where's his justice? God creates humanity and then floods them? And so, you never sacrifice things that have no value for you. You never sacrifice things that have no meaning for you. And that's the difficult part. That's why finding good teachers and then following good teachers is so difficult. Even if you were to look at the story of Plato and Socrates, Plato is a rich guy in Athens. He's privileged in so many different ways, and all of a sudden you make a rich 17-year-old into a beggar. First Socrates manipulates, exploits him, and all of a sudden one morning Plato wakes up and he says, I'm in love with Socrates. But what exactly do I love about him? Wisdom. What the hell is that? Can I read wisdom? Is there a place I can go and get wisdom? And the answer is no. It seems that the only person who has wisdom is Socrates. He is Costco. And then, what do? You turn your back to school, you turn your back to everything your parents have taught you. And in the end, what do you become? You have a school, you make it into a cult, you only accept students who are relatively intelligent and decent, who know music, who know math, at least you enjoy them, and thinking, and you become profoundly prejudiced and biased and bigoted. I only accept those who I like. I don't care what God says, which makes it difficult.